Oh, do you have more ballots? What, ballots? Do we have more ballots?
I don't.
How many more kids?
There is 3 more kids.
I have extras. I have 3 extra.
Oh, be my best. I need 3, I'm out of ballots. No. She can't sign it copies.
I can find out.
Hey,
It's really hard.
1111, then push the login thing on the screen, and then push that.
It's in the work history though.
Yeah.
Is there any more?
Yeah, you have one for this performance?
No.
You don't have one for this?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
We don't teach math, it's fine.
I don't have a college thing. Hey, this one was one.
In my 16 years, I've done a lot of stupid things. For instance, when I was 7, I got some peanut butter on my sweater, which wasn't a big deal. Until I took my trusty safety scissors and cut it off, thinking my mother could sew it back together. A knit sweater. A few years later, I ran into a glass door. I don't remember much of what happened afterward, but don't worry. What I do remember, my family won't let me forget. The stupidity is seemingly endless. But even though I don't always make the most brilliant choices, I've always been told I'm smart. At school, I'm in all the gifted classes, and people compliment me all the time on my intellect. But how intelligent am I really? Sure, I score high on tests, but I also ran smack dab into a glass door. In front of relatives I was meeting for the first time. Sometimes it seems like my cognitive intelligence, my ability to think and reason logically, is all that matters. But there are other types of intelligence that are just as valuable, like emotional intelligence, which is your ability to control and express your emotions, and moral intelligence, which is your capacity to understand right from wrong. According to a PBS overview of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory, each of us has a unique combination of intelligences, and no 2 combinations are alike. But all of these intelligences are needed in order to be successful and happy. Without emotional intelligence, information is cold and unfriendly. Without moral intelligence, people can become manipulative and dangerous. And without cognitive intelligence, we lose the ability to think critically about the world around us. A balance of the 3 is needed, and we tend to underestimate the power these intelligences hold in combination. Sadly, our society overvalues cognitive intelligence and drastically undervalues emotional and moral intelligence. So first, let's get a running start at the problems that come with an imbalance of intelligences. Second, look through the glass at why these imbalances occur. And finally, break through the door with some practical solutions. So let's get a running start and examine the problems at hand. First, pure cognitive intelligence limits our interpersonal relationships. And second, those with higher emotional or moral intelligence are often viewed as unintelligent. Initially, we must realize that by focusing purely on cognitive intelligence, we limit ourselves in our interactions with other people. Knowing the importance of the Oxford comma, or even what it is valuable, worthwhile, and awesome. But only being able to talk about the Oxford comma leaves us stuck when people want to talk about something else. And they will. Trust me. Drs. Peter Slovey and John D. Mayer, leading scholars in the field of emotional intelligence, state people who behave in an emotionally intelligent fashion have sufficient social competence to weave a warm fabric of interpersonal relations. I like their metaphor. Think of emotional intelligence as your favorite quilt, the kind that's soft and safe. Without emotional intelligence, our interactions become cold and shivering instead of warm and filled with understanding. But like any quilt, we're not quite as comfortable without our squishy, memory foam pillow. In this case, the pillow is moral intelligence. Moral intelligence deals with integrity, responsibility, sympathy, and forgiveness. The skills that solidify healthy interactions. Without these two types of intelligence, our interactions with people aren't as healthy or pleasant. However, on the other side of the issue, those who do have high emotional or moral intelligence don't often realize it. In our current society, we see those with high cognitive intelligence as the smart ones, and everyone else as being, well, really nice. That's a considerate chunk of the population that's being told they aren't smart, even though their emotional or moral intelligence is off the charts. Because we value cognitive intelligence more, we alienate this group of people, leaving them less confident and with poor self-perception. Next, let's look through the glass at the causes of these issues. First, our schools focus on cognitive intelligence, and second, cognitive intelligence is seen as a one-way ticket to success. To start out, it's important to realize that in our schools, we tend to prioritize academics. This becomes problematic when so much emphasis is placed on the academics that schools let everything else fall by the wayside, like the essential skills that come with emotional and moral intelligence. The kind of skills taught in elementary school. Kindergarten, days of eating glue and learning to share. You know, when I do that now, it's called piracy. Kindergarten is a time to learn how to be respectful, how to listen, how to make friends, and how to keep them. In my experience, getting older means learning how to score well on the ACT. No recess for the big kids. No, we're rewarded for our hard work and dedication with more time to study for standardized tests. There isn't any mixture of the two, even though emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in the learning process. Mark Brackett, a senior researcher in psychology at Yale, states emotions can either enhance or hinder your ability to learn. They affect our attention and our memory. And not only are students suffering from a lack of emotional teaching, but because schools place such an emphasis on cognitive intelligence, it gets drilled into our heads that that's the only way to succeed. Which leads to our second cause. Cognitive intelligence is seen as the only way to truly succeed, a one-way ticket, if you will. From a young age, we're told that we will succeed through intellectual pursuits. That's what's going to earn us the big bucks. We're taught hobbies and interests like music and art are great, but only because they stimulate us intellectually, not because we can actually make a living out of them. However, according to a Forbes article on April 12, 2012, research out of the Carnegie Institute of Technology shows that 85% of your financial success is due to human engineering. That is, your ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. Shockingly, only 15% is due to cognitive knowledge. While we reinforce the idea that cognitive intelligence is what makes us successful, the truth of the matter is that emotional and moral intelligence gives us the skills that help us most in the workforce. Now that we've fully examined the problems and causes of focusing on cognitive intelligence, it's time to break through the door with some solutions. First, we need to change the way our schools treat intelligence. And second, we must begin to shift our current perception about what is and what is not intelligence. To begin with, it's essential that schools realize emotional and moral intelligence must be developed, honed, and honored throughout our entire career as a student. For students to grow and develop properly, we need to implement a wide variety of skills and ways of learning. And we can do this by embracing a teaching technique known as social emotional learning. According to a report in the American Psychologist, this involves teaching kids to apply ethics in their daily lives, encouraging respectful relationships between students and staff, and supporting positive social, health, and academic behavior. Only when schools start treating multiple kinds of intelligence as legitimate will we start seeing progress in our own expectations of intelligence. Furthermore, learn to utilize your own emotional and moral intelligence and realize you can use it to succeed. Cognitive, emotional, and moral intelligence aren't things you either have or don't have. They're things we all have in different quantities. It's up to you to learn how to utilize your strengths, which can be hard. Believe me, I know. As a kid, although I was thought of for my cognitive intelligence, I also had high moral intelligence. Every time a game in PE was unfair or a kid took another kid's toy, I got really upset and angry. I couldn't figure out why. As I got older, I began to understand. But that doesn't make up for the years of not knowing why I got so frustrated every time a classmate told a little white lie. We need to remember that success doesn't happen through cognitive intelligence alone. You need all three types to really make an impact in your work and your personal life. Everyone is smart, just not always in the same way. And that's what makes us awesome. So today, by running at the problems we face by overvaluing cognitive intelligence, looking through the glass at causes that stem from our expectations of success, and breaking through with solutions of recognizing the importance of emotional and moral intelligence, it's easy to see just how important these multiple types of intelligence are. We've been told it's important to be smart. It's important to know all 50 states and how to do long division. But there are other things that are just as important, like knowing how to listen, how to be kind, how to be respectful, how to express ourselves, and how to know when something is wrong. Those skills are the real tickets to success, and we can learn them. We can break through the glass door, or open it. That would probably be smarter.